in the books of BA.
Receivables.
What I'm trying to say is we have established already the amount of sales that BA will have to record in its books, and that is 344,552,094. My question is, how should this be recorded in the books of BA, assuming this amount was a sale in credit? Which account should we debit and which account should we credit? That's my question.
Is it receivable and credit and payable? Sorry.
Receivable and payable.
Yes, you debit the receivables and credit the payables.
Which payables? This I will not forgive you. Accountants, double entry, simple double entry.
Hello, Mr.
The sale has been made in credit. Which account to debit, which account to credit?
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
With
Sales will be credited with that amount, then receivables will be debited.
There you go. Simple. Simple.
Yeah.
If a sale has been made either in credit or cash, we still credit our sales account. Why do we credit our sales account? Sales account is a revenue account. By default, all revenue accounts are credited. So if you pass a credit entry, you're going to increase them. Is that clear? Please, you must master your double entry. That one, you cannot be forgiven for that. Your double entry, you must master it. That's the difference between us and other professions. You know, we bluff people with our double entry, with our debit and credit. So if we don't know our debit and credit properly, we'll be in trouble there. Please take note of that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cole. So we are going to debit accounts receivable. We are going to debit accounts receivable, of course, with this amount, so there is no need to put any amount. And the account we are going to credit will be our sales revenue account. Our sales revenue account will be credited with the same amount. Is this clear? And what is the implication on our income statement and our balance sheet? Can someone tell me that? What will be the implication of these transactions on our income statement and our balance sheet of BA Limited? Please. Eh? Accountants.
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
Yes.
We have to debit our inventory and can credit the bank.
No. There is no inventory here. This is correct. We debit accounts receivables with this amount and credit sales revenue with this. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this transaction will be recorded in our financial statements, in our income statement and our balance sheet. So how will it be recorded on the income statement and our balance sheet?
Yeah. Hello,
on the balance sheet.
The effect on the balance sheet, Okay, first, the accounts receivable, is it going to be recorded in the income statement or on the balance sheet?
going to the balance record on the balance sheet.
It's going to go into the balance sheet.
Balance sheet.
How is it going to be recorded in the balance sheet?
The
Current asset.
Current asset will increase.
So this will be on a balance sheet. And how is it going to be recorded in the balance sheet?
Foreign asset.
Come on.
Under the current asset.
How is this going to be recorded in the balance sheet?
Increase in current assets as receivable.
Okay, it's gonna be recorded under current assets and it's going to increase it. So under current assets. Simple. And the sales revenue, why is it going to be recorded? Are you going to record sales revenue on your balance sheet?
Income
No,
statement.
on the income statement.
It will be on the income statement, but it will end up in the balance sheet. How is it going to end up in the balance sheet? The profit or loss ends up in the balance sheet, isn't it? So, but
Net profit
first,
or
it
loss.
must be recorded in the income statement, isn't it? So, and the income statement is going to come under the section called income, isn't it? Okay, it's going to come under the section called income, and the effect will be it will increase profit. Okay? At the end of the day, the bottom line is it will increase profit. Please take note of this. This is the basics we have to know as accountants. This is the basics we have to know. So let's do the opposite. So we're going to go to paste in the books of AA, right? In the books of AA. Yeah? So in the books of AA, what is going to be recorded? Good. Purchases.
Purchases.
Purchases will be recorded. Good. So how are we going to record these purchases in the books of AA? How are we going to record these purchases? Please, not you, Mr. Kaur, this time around. Can someone help me, please?
We credit payables and
Hello, Mr.
debit
President.
purchases.
Okay, Mr. Driver, sorry, can you say that? Say it again.
Say we debit purchases and credit payables.
Okay, we're going to debit purchases and credit payables. Is that correct, everyone? Huh?
Yes, it's correct.
That is correct. Okay,
Yeah,
so we're going to debit purchases account. We're going to debit purchases account, and we're going to credit. Don't just say payables. Please be professional. The terminology is not payables. It's called accounts payables. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Accounts payables. So we're going to debit purchases account and credit accounts payables. Okay? So what will be the effect? So the purchases account, is it going to come under the balance sheet or on the income statement?
Income
It will
statement.
come under the income statement. And how is it going to
Income
come under the
statement.
income statement?
Under the expenses.
It will come under expenses. Under expenses.
Will decrease the profit. Huh?
And it will decrease the profit. Excellent. Please, you must know these things. These ones, even though most of the institutions are using softwares, if your software has been messed up, you must know your double entry in order to correct it. That's why every software, every accounting software has got a module called journals. You always use your journals to correct entries. Okay? Sometimes the softwares don't work. And even with the softwares, you have to be able to know which accounts to debit, which accounts to credit before you can pass your entries. Very, very important. So the account payables will appear under
Balance sheet.
the balance sheet. And where under the balance sheet?
Current liability.
Under current.
Current liabilities.
Excellent.
Current liability.
Okay. If you know this simply, you can construct anybody's accounts for it. And there are a lot of money lying out there for us as accountants. You know, you are not allowed to audit and give an opinion on anyone's account, okay, if you are not qualified. You're not allowed to do that. But you are allowed to prepare their financial statements for them, okay? You can do that. But you're not allowed to express an opinion on that. You have to be a professional first before you can do that. And of course, you can easily prepare their financial statements for them. There are lots of MSMEs there, micro, medium, small enterprises that don't know how to prepare financial statements. So in case you're not working, this is one way of making money. But if you don't master your double entry, forget it. You cannot be able to do it. Okay? And there are people who, you know, who are going around, helping businesses and receiving 5,000, 10,000 here and there. And some of them are non-Gambians. Some of them are non-Gambians. Why can't we do that as Gambians? Our problem is we are myopic. You know, when we go to university and do our degrees, we only want to go on office. We only want to go and work in offices, and maybe be responsible for only accounts receivable, be drawing sales invoice. Finish. You sit at the corner. But there are a lot of things that you can do with your degree. Lots of things. Okay? So please, let's try to practice this. Let's test this. I had one of my students in last semester. You know, I was, encouraging them to, he was not employed at the time. A couple of weeks ago, he called me. He said, one of my relatives wants me to keep his books. He's running a poultry. Can you help me with templates? I did. I helped him with templates, and I was, taking him through. So we must do this. Let's make our accounting live. Let us not be rubber stamp accountants, who, can only, memorize theories and can't do any work at all. I mean, gone were those days. Okay? So that's the answer to this emission trading question. And if there are no questions, I think we're going to start the short-term decision making today. Any questions, please, before we move? Did you enjoy it? I like this question. The fact that it refreshes your double entry, in real life. Okay, it refreshes your double entry. Okay. Any questions, please, everybody? No questions? Then we move. Ali Tala, any questions? I keep calling.
Hello, sir.
I keep calling Ali Tala. Ali Tala. I don't know. I don't know whether he exists.
Hello.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kor.
Yes, I just wanted to add what we are saying. That when people graduate, they can do a lot of things with their degrees.
Exactly.
That's the reality. Because when you are working, you see a lot of opportunities that you can tap money from. Really.
Yes.
Like from my office, I can always have some little things outside. We can earn you something. It keeps you going. Yeah.
Exactly.
So please, when you graduate, please let's use our degree to help others also, and we can gain something.
Yeah. That's why I take my time. I try to put my students through. I don't want you to only pass exams and get A stars, and they say that guy has got a degree in accounting with summa cum laude or with magna cum laude or whatever. But I want you to be able to practice. Period. If you're an accountant, you cannot practice. If you're an accountant, you cannot prepare an income statement, you cannot prepare a balance sheet, you're useless. If you're an accountant, you cannot prepare a break-even analysis. What can you do? If you're an accountant, you cannot advise, customers with long-term investment. You cannot even be able to tell them if they invest now, tomorrow they have to gain this. What is the value of that in today's terms? What can you do? So please, let's try to be practical. It's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit you, definitely. You don't have to get employment in order to, gain money from your knowledge. But just do a little bit of understanding and then go and practice it. There was another student also who, went to, I think it's a construction company. There is this guy who was doing some construction, and he started there as a temp, and they were not paying him initially, but at the end of the day, they were satisfied with his work, and they took him. So you have to prove yourself. As simple as that. Okay, so if there are no questions, I think we're going to move to accounting for short-term decision making. I hope you like the lectures on investment appraisal. On emission trading.